Alright you guys, I gave you guys my top 10 favorite movies of 2022, so it's only fair that I list off what I think are the top 10 shittiest movies of 2022. What kind of critic would I be if I never took the opportunity to revisit some garbage every once in a while? Apparently you guys are just a bunch of sociopaths that just love to see me suffer. And once again, I did not see every movie that came out in 2022. I like my sanity, and sometimes it's just okay to avoid the dog shit. That being said, let's rip these movies a new asshole one more time as I count down what I think are the top 10 worst movies of 2022. Otherwise known as the 10 movies that I hated more than Morbius.
Number 10.
Forced installments are bad enough, but rushed shitty finales to beloved franchises are even worse. Jurassic World Dominion. Talk about a movie that had no idea what it wanted to be. Probably the most inconsistent story out of any movie I saw in 2022. And the villain, man. What was he? Also, you know all those characters that you love from the very first movie? Yeah, we're gonna bring them back, but we're not gonna do a damn thing with any of them. I'll say this movie looks pretty at least, but big CGI dinosaurs do not equal a coherent story. As it stands, Jurassic World Dominion is the rise of Skywalker in this new wave of Jurassic Park movies. And as Kylo Ren said,
"Let the past die. Kill it if you have to." Number 9.
I love Stephen King stories, just not when they're adapted like this. Firestarter was one of the biggest dumpster fires of last year. There's no reason why this should have been one of the biggest bores of 2022. You have a girl that can make fire with the will of her mind. You can't make that interesting? Upon thinking more about Firestarter, the more the ending of this movie just infuriated me. Completely unearned nonsense that I'm pretty sure somebody came up with when they were snorting a line of coke. The dialogue in this movie is just absolutely abysmal too. Like, watch the trailer if you don't believe me. I think I've killed this thing with fire long enough. I'm not letting it take up any more of my time.
Number 8.
You know guys, I adore the Harry Potter franchise. Its brother? Nope. Recently I had a huge discussion with my uncle about these Fantastic Beasts movies. And this is what he told me. He said, the way you feel about these Fantastic Beasts movies are the same way I felt about the prequels when they were coming out. And he's right, the Fantastic Beasts movies are ultimately just the prequels of this generation. I just wasn't invested or entertained at all watching The Secrets of Dumbledore. Like, this is the Wizarding World. This is supposed to be one of the most magical places in all of fiction. But this movie just managed to suck all the life enjoyment out of it to the point where this movie's nothing more than just a lifeless husk of depression. And if you're wondering, no, I don't think Johnny Depp could have saved this movie if he was still Grindelwald. That's like saying Twilight would be better if Megan Fox was playing Bella instead of Kristen Stewart. Now I can obliviate myself and forget all about this, because that's what this movie is. Forgettable.
Number 7.
Next up is Pray for the Devil. Pray for the Devil is just stupid. Probably for the reason that I've seen so many movies like this one already. It's not scary, it does absolutely nothing to try to breathe life into the exorcism film genre. It's just every trope and cliche repackaged and ready to be sent out. Because the studio knows that gullible teenagers are gonna watch this thinking it's the next Conjuring. It has some actors in it that I really like that I know can do better. They didn't need this movie, and I sure as hell didn't need this movie.
Number 6.
No matter what movie I go into, I always try to give it a fair chance. But something about Tysons Run just irked me beyond anger. You know, I actually had a few people tell me that I hate autistic kids just because I didn't like this movie. No, that is not the case. I just hate shitty movies with bad characters and stories that go absolutely nowhere. If anything, this movie is an insult to people with autism. There's nothing inspirational or empowering at all about Tysons Run. The dad alone in this movie is such a scumbag that you just want to RKO his dumbass through a table. And I'm pretty sure he goes through the exact same arc 3 times in this movie. Plus, there's this whole side plot about Tyson's mom wanting to get an abortion because she's afraid that she's gonna have another autistic child. Yeah, it's bad. And this big marathon run that they hype up throughout the entire movie only happens in the last 10 minutes. And Tyson is able to somehow outrun everyone, even the people that have been training for this thing for months. Get the fuck out of here.
Number 5.
Used to kind of enjoy Roland Emmerich's movies, but after seeing Moonfall, I'm just kind of sick of him. I can remember the exact moment that Moonfall fell off the deep end, and that's when it just out of nowhere all of a sudden turned into Independence Day 2.0. It had a really simple premise with the moon just falling out of orbit and coming to destroy the Earth. You didn't need to overcomplicate things by throwing aliens into the mix. They even managed to make the destruction aspect of this movie just really piss poor and mediocre. You would think all the destruction would be the highlight of this movie. But no, because pretty much every single effect they have in here looks like something out of a PlayStation 3 cutscene. And man, I felt horrible for Patrick Wilson, man. He's a good actor, but he looked miserable and bored as shit acting in this. It really makes me wonder how big that paycheck was. As it stands, I really don't want to see another Roland Emmerich movie for a long time after seeing Moonfall.
Number 4.
How is it that Twilight is no longer the bar for shitty teen drama romance movies? You want my honest answer? It's because of movies like Redeeming Love. I think this was the 4th movie I saw in 2022, and it was just memorable for all the wrong reasons. Like, oh my God. I drove through a snowstorm to see this movie, which in retrospective was really stupid of me, I know. I was bored watching this, the acting made me physically ill, and I just wanted both of these morons to die in the most horrible way possible. It's a movie about a Bible thumper trying to turn a whore into a housewife. How is that gonna work? Guess what? It doesn't. By the end, you don't buy the romance because it's so forced and awkward, and let's face it, would never work out anyway. Redeeming Love bent me over and made me its fucking bitch, so hopefully this is the last time I get to give this movie the metaphorical backhand.
Number 3.
Believe it or not, number 3 was one that I was actually really looking forward to. People hyped it up and said it was really good. After seeing it though, I will never believe the hype again. Bones and All made me hate my life. Like, what went wrong? You had a solid premise and a solid setup, but not even halfway through the first act, you just managed to fall on your face. This is one of those movies that when I think about it, I end up thinking of more reasons to hate it. You have some of the worst dialogue imaginable, some of the worst acting imaginable, and a plot that is legit so slow and just all over the place that you're constantly checking your watch and trying not to fall asleep. And this romance, kind of like in Redeeming Love, yeah, not buying it. Bones and All doesn't even bother to explain what its monsters are. Are they supernatural? Is it a genetic disorder passed down through bloodlines? Yeah, we're not gonna tell you. Since Bones and All didn't give a shit, I don't give a shit enough to continue talking about this waste of time.
Number 2.
Paws of Fury is the reason why top 10 worst lists exist. It absolutely fails as a kids movie and fails to have any kind of message or merit at all. You know, it's funny, I actually heard people comparing this to Blazing Saddles and saying that this is just an animated version of Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I don't buy it. Whoever said that must have been high when they said it, because unlike Blazing Saddles, Paws of Fury is not funny, nor is it clever with any of its humor. Instead, what we have are fourth wall breaks that are so misplaced and forced, and lots of toilet humor and fart jokes. People who saw this monstrosity got their money flushed down the toilet. That much I do know. And Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie. Like, come on, Sam. I know you're better than this, man. Parents, it's very apparent to me that the entertainment industry just thinks your kids are stupid. Let them watch anything except this. I suffered with it. They don't need to suffer as well.
Number 1.
Alright, let's rip this one off like a band-aid. Of the movies I saw in 2022, nothing made me more angry or rageful than this abortion of a film right here. Family Camp can fucking die. At least the other movies I pointed out on this list are kind of funny in that it's so bad that it's good kind of way. But with Family Camp, I felt absolutely nothing. I felt like I was sitting there with a gun pointed at my head being preached at about God for 2 hours. 2 hours of this cinematic diarrhea. All Family Camp really does is recycle good scenes and moments from other camp vacation films and just does these moments a lot worse, while giving you some of the most loud, obnoxious, and just annoying characters possible. 2 families of assholes that you wish would just walk out into the woods and get eaten by a bear. That would have been more entertaining than anything they did in this movie's 2-hour runtime. Like I said in my review, these skit guys should be blacklisted and never allowed to make another comedy. They're unfunny, they're untalented, and they somehow managed to make Adam Sandler at his worst look like his best. Looking at you, Jack and Jill. If I see another movie like Family Camp at any point in 2023, it'll just be way too soon. Well, there you guys have it. Those are my picks for what I think are the top 10 worst movies of 2022. Let me know in the comments below, what are your top 10 worst movies of 2022. 2022 was long, it was exhausting, I saw a lot of good stuff, and obviously from this list I saw a lot of bad stuff. But 2023 is shaping up to be a brand new year with new adventures, new characters, new stories, and I will be front row and center for every single one. Okay, maybe not every single one like I established in the last video, because like I said, sometimes you just gotta skip out on some garbage. But anyway, like I said, what are your top 10 worst movies of 2022? Let me know in the comments below, and drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, I'm the Unbiased Movie Nerd, saying peace, and I'll see you guys for the first review of 2023. Peace out, everybody.